Hey, my name's Bill Faeth, and I'm excited that you're here today because I'm going to talk to you about my 550-250 plan. Let me break this down and explain this to you. At the end of the day, that's how you make $250,000 in net income in 5 years or less with 5 properties. Those are 5 short-term rentals with 1 investment. 1 investment, that's it. So you may be thinking, wow, that's impossible. I have to make multiple investments. You do, but if you make the right ones, you can grow out of cash flow. Doesn't matter if you have a W-2, a job that you want to get out of, you're just sick and tired of the rat race. You could be an entrepreneur like myself that is looking to gain more financial freedom or, increase your passive income. The 550-250 plan has worked for me. It's worked for hundreds of my students, and it can work for you as well. You might be making 7 figures, but you want to add $250,000, $500,000 in passive income. That's what the 550-250 plan can do for you. Look, it's what I've done. I've done it 4 times. I actually own 13 properties. In 2023, I had an average of about 12 properties. Now, because I do the 550-250 plan, I'm going to uncover this for you here in just a second. You're going to see why my properties don't stay static. If you know who Mike McCallowicz is, he wrote a book called Profit First, another one called The Pumpkin Plan. I actually use the Pumpkin Plan methodology to level up my portfolio so I can maximize my return on investment property by property and not have to own 50 or 100 properties. I don't know about you, but I don't want to have 100 doors that I have to manage, 100 guests coming in or out. It doesn't matter if it's long-term, short-term, mid-term. That's just way too much work. The 550-250 program is about buying properties that are what are called super properties. Those aren't big mega mansions. Super properties by definition are properties that absolutely max out your return on investment. And if you can do that, you can have a smaller number of properties with higher net income. That's how I did $1,080,000 in net income in 2023, off of roughly about $2.4 million in gross income with only an average of 12 properties. My goal is to get them down to 10. So one of the really important things of how you can grow to $250,000 a year net income with only 5 properties is 1, we need to know how to select properties. That involves market selection. It involves sub-market selection, understanding the principles of really finding a super property that's going to generate maximum revenue and maximum profit, because tenet number 2 is we don't ever want to invest in a property that's going to generate less than $50,000 a year in net income. That's where the 50 number falls in there. So 5 properties in 5 years netting $50,000 a year in income or greater. We don't want to compromise. Too many people have made mistakes investing into short-term rentals, and they do the same thing in long-term, is they compromise. Like a lot of people are rushing now to sell properties so they're ready to buy when interest rates come out, and they're not selling at a high enough price point. So we want to take the plan and we want to stick to it. That means we need to get really good at underwriting properties, really good at identifying the right markets to invest into. And I'm going to give you the first tip. Don't follow where anybody's telling you to go on Facebook. Most people go into markets that are saturated. They compromise and they buy average properties because it takes too long to find the right property that's going to generate that $50,000 in net income. So I know it's a little bit glary because it's a sunny day outside, but if you can see that view, that's the Stillwater River just outside of Whitefish, Montana. This is one of my super properties. And I'll take you a walk outside because I'm here in my personal property and show you what really goes into, buying a super property without having to overpay to where it really becomes this cornerstone of the 550-250 plan. So you can see the really nice fireplace. It's a really nice cabin. But most importantly, it's one I'm going to show you outside. It's this proximity to a river. And that's what people want when they come to Montana. They want the true Montana experience, and that's what I give to them. So I'm out on my deck, and you can see how close that river is. Literally, there's my outdoor dining table right there, my Traeger. I can literally be fly fishing into the river. Take a look down here. Just to the right of that tree, it's a lake and then the Canadian Rocky Mountains. So the other things are putting in the right amenities. So I've got a dock, and then you see that? Everybody's got hot tubs, but nobody has a barrel sauna. Literally, that is the only barrel sauna outside of the Whitefish Lodge, so no Airbnbs have barrel saunas. So it's about selecting the right amenities that your ideal buyer is going to want to pay for and utilize at your property that nobody else has. On the other side of that is kind of an outpost. You can kind of see it right there, a storage facility. I've got paddle boards, I've got cornhole, I supply firewood for my fire pit, I've got kayaks, I've got fishing gear. Everything that my buyer personas are gonna want to take full advantage of that river right there. Then I've got a restaurant and a bar they can walk up to, a lake that they can go to. I'm only 15 minutes from Whitefish. I'm 25 minutes from skiing and snowboarding at Whitefish Mountain. I'm 45 minutes from Glacier National Park. I've got every amenity that you can imagine inside of this house, from the fireplace, new our house furnishings, and then one of those other amenities that nobody has, my next door neighbor restores milkshake machines. Look at this. This is a vintage Hamilton Beach that my wife, who was my designer, has turned into a milkshake bar. We all have coffee bars that I created about 2.5 years ago, but we need a unique stay. We need something to stand out in our marketing, and that's where the milkshake bar came into. So when we do those things, we're able to raise our average daily rate, increase our profit margin, and give ourselves marketability so we can optimize our listings and market off platform using social media and email marketing. These are just some of the things that go into the 550-250 program. Like I said earlier, we've had hundreds of people in my mastermind, in my inner circle, and this is the core of what I teach you in the inner circle. For people that are just getting started, you might be looking to buy your first property, or you could have 2 or 3 and looking to scale to 5 or 6. What I'm gonna do is change your mindset to where you're not thinking about properties. You're like an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you're thinking about profit, not even gross revenue. What we want to do is optimize profit. So that way we can grow our profit and reinvest. You're probably sitting there thinking, okay, Bill, that's all well and great, but how do I get to 5 properties with 1 investment? It's the exact same way that I did. I started with only $126,000. My wife and I took it out of our savings. We bought a beach property down in Gulf Shores, Alabama. 2 years later, I probably was doing $45,000 a year in gross revenue and took it to $100,000 and then $112,000 in gross revenue with a $126,000 down payment on a $629,000 property. Today, that was pre-COVID. Post-COVID, that's $150,000 to $175,000 a year property. But pre-COVID, I was able to net $37,000 in year number 1. Then in year number 2, as I increased that profit, I increased it by about $14,000. I did $52,000. Now I had enough property to go do another 10% down and buy another $700,000 property. But the key came in 2019 when I sold that property. It's what we call a reposition. I bought property number 2, and then I sold that first property. So now I go down, I've only got 1 property. I sell that one, but I was able to reposition that into 2 properties. So because I had so much equity, it's what I call a cash on equity audit. So we're doing that every 6 months in this program. Me and my coaches walk you through it step by step. So I got a reposition in property number 3. Then I was able to split that, right? So instead of just buying property number 3, I sold number 1. Now I've got 3 properties that were all producing between $60,000 to $75,000 a year. That means it only took me 16 months out of cash flow to go from 3 properties to 5. And each of them were doing well over $50,000 a year, even before COVID. Now they do as well. This property that you see here, I paid $950,000 for, fully furnished. We made some upgrades, there's no question. Put about another $35,000 into the property. But this is slated, AirDNA said it would do about $98,000. STR Insights was about the same. Slated to do over $200,000 in the first full year. I operated about 45% net margins. That means that I'll do roughly around $95,000 net. All you need is 3 of those. So it's about finding the right properties, underwriting them with a Proforma. I've got the Big Daddy Proforma waiting for you. I teach you how to run the Proforma. Don't use those simple online calculators. Those aren't going to do the job for you. And walk you through everything from basically revenue management, listing optimization. My wife steps in and does all the designing and sourcing. Where can you get restoration hardware design on a home goods budget? That's how you save your dollars to not blow your budget on design, on interior design and furnishings and all that type of stuff. So identifying properties, market research, underwriting, you get the Big Daddy Proforma, teach you how to use it. Then we go in and contract to close negotiating, what's the best markets to buy into, designing the interior of the space, getting the right amenities are going to be able to help you level up your listing, staging, getting your listing up and running, revenue management, listing optimization, off-platform marketing. Then we just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. We teach you how to do those things one time, then we optimize and we rinse and repeat. We do that 5 times and you're gonna crush it with $250,000 to $300,000 in revenue. So if you wanna learn how to do this, all you need to do is click the link below and schedule a call with me and my team, and we'll help you walk through this and make the decision for your future.